They are the new face of the military. Women soldiers who trade in their lipstick for machine guns, who stand shoulder to shoulder with their male counterparts facing death every day. But this new military role for women comes with a big price. Tonight, we bring you some amazing stories from the front line, stories about tragedy and triumph.
I miss her laughter.
They are tears of grief, tears of fear, tears of pride, buckets of tears for the modern soldier, women at war whose lives are trapped between duty and difficult decisions.
When they came to me and said, here are your job options, you can pick anyone you'd like, and I asked how come there wasn't a bigger female to male ratio in the infantry, and they said, because women just can't. And I said, sign me up.
Lisette LeBlanc is a pioneer for women in the Canadian military. There are only a few dozen women in all of Canada's infantry, and she is one of them. Master Corporal LeBlanc is this unit's senior infantry soldier. She leads men in a country where women have no rights.
Carry good, Vin good. You know, it's a shock for them to shake my hand and realize that I actually am a woman with a little bit of authority.
Back home in New Brunswick, a family worries, but accepts the role she has chosen.
Couldn't just be in the kitchen to peel potatoes. You just had to. And she just answered me, that's me.
Yeah, you make sure you watch your side. You know what? I hope I'm doing something for women out there, just showing them that if they want to, they can. Nothing's impossible if you put your mind to it.
Sister soldier Captain Nicola Goddard was also a pioneer in the Canadian military. She gave the ultimate sacrifice, her life. She made the Army her career and married her military college sweetheart, Jason Bean. And the newlyweds would soon separate after duty called. Nicola was deployed to Afghanistan. Her job highly dangerous. She was the 4th observation officer working with the artillery, and the lives of many soldiers depended on her.
Her job would be to identify targets and have the artillery shells directed onto these targets and then provide corrections to make sure they actually hit the intended target.
And her role was not an easy one, and it came with its problems. She shared those difficult moments with her soldier husband.
There's just a lot of stereotypes of women in the military, what they are like, I guess. But she tried to be just like the other male soldiers and be just a regular soldier and try not to be known as being just a great female soldier.
Her parents, Tim and Sally Goddard, feared for their daughter's safety. They knew she represented a new era of soldier and that she harbored a deep anxiety about her military role.
I think Nicola wasn't scared for herself personally. I think Nicola was scared that she'd make the wrong decision and somebody would get hurt.
Sometimes people would say, but you're a woman, how can you do this? And she took that as an opportunity to say, well, no, we're all soldiers, we all do this.
And on May 18, 2006, the unimaginable for this family, Captain Goddard's armored vehicle was caught in a Taliban ambush in Kandahar province. Several rocket-propelled grenades exploded and Captain Goddard was killed. The tragic news was delivered to her father.
It was my birthday. The phone rang and it was Jay, Nicola's husband, and he told me that she'd been killed.
We knew that she had died instantly, and we knew it was a piece of shrapnel that cut her brainstem.
And Captain Goddard would earn a tragic distinction. She would become the first Canadian female soldier to die in combat.
I miss her laughter. Just give me a second, okay? She would not want to be regarded in history as the first woman who was killed in combat. She would want to be regarded, I think, as a soldier who was doing her job and did it to the best of her ability, whether she had been male or female.
What's going on?
And 26-year-old Melissa Rivera is also a first for the Army. This military mom is on the run, the first female soldier to go AWOL, a military term for desertion. With her husband and 3 children, Kimberly lives here in this dilapidated Toronto apartment. She is seeking asylum in Canada, joining an estimated 200 American soldiers who have headed north of the border instead of back to Iraq.
What makes you want to join the Army when you had 2 kids then, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not being judgmental. I don't want to be judgmental in any way.
Yeah.
But I'm a mother too, and I wonder, what are you thinking when you do that? What were you thinking?
Mostly, I guess, it's desperation. I mean, you want the best for your family, you know? And at the time, I wasn't necessarily against everything that we were doing or even war in general.
Kimberly was working at a Walmart in her hometown of Garland, Texas, making only $10 an hour. She admits she had no idea when she enlisted how horrible her experience would be in Iraq.
I guarded the front gate of our base out there, and we just we made sure our convoys were ready to go.
She remembers one incident with a traumatized 2-year-old Iraqi girl that changed her view on the war and made her wonder why she was even there.
Tears were just coming out of her face, like coming down her eyes, like I could still see her, like she's real, right there, just coming down her face, and no crying, no screaming. All you can see is her shaking and tears. And I'm like, oh my God, that girl's been traumatized. All I knew is I was standing there and I had all my gear on and a rifle.
As a woman, she says it was a collision of emotions, and in the end, the nurturing mother, not the soldier, prevailed.
I wasn't a soldier. No way, no how I wasn't a soldier. I was just mom.
That's my mama on a picture.
And Kimberly says there were even bigger problems. Harassment by some of the male soldiers. She said it was so severe, she didn't know who the real enemy was anymore.
They kind of instill in you that you always have to watch your back as a woman. I'm like, I have to worry about people on the outside attacking me, with mortars, but I also have to be scared of other soldiers around me trying to abuse me.
The stress on Kimberly was too much for her to take. She was able to return home on leave for 2 weeks, and she was reunited with her family.
Bawled my eyes out coming off the plane, like you can't even imagine, like felt like weights were just lifted off of me, and I'm not talking about just the breastplates and side plates that we wore, but everything.
Melissa says it was a hard decision to make, but she wasn't going back to Iraq. And she says her husband began to research anti-war websites, and they found one online called the War Resistor Support Campaign, which helps American soldiers who want to seek asylum here in Canada.
So they packed their belongings and kids and started driving north.
We started in Texas, so it's like, that was a pretty heck of a ride. We went through a lot, we cried a lot, we prayed a lot.
Melissa's family in Texas won't even talk to her. They tell her she is a traitor. And now, after almost 2 years in Canada, the country that took in thousands of draft dodgers in the 70s, a country she hoped would save her and her family, has ordered her to leave. She was told by the Immigration and Refugee Board that her family would be deported.
At the moment, they just say we're not true refugees and we shouldn't be tying up the system.
And the hardest part of this is the toll it has taken on her children, who understand once Mommy returns to Texas, she will be court-martialed and stand trial for deserting the military.
Please don't let my mom leave Canada or my dad.
Melissa says she wants other women who are thinking of enlisting to know her story, a story about an American dream that became a Canadian nightmare.
Are you scared?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I have no idea what they can decide they want to do, because they can ultimately do anything they want to me. And the law does say they can kill me.
In the end, 3 soldiers, 3 different stories, and one common bond. Women at war, changing the face of the front line.
and the family of Captain Nicola Goddard have set up a scholarship in her name. If you would like to make a donation, please log on to our website at global16by9.com for more information.